Welcome to episode 300 of the podcast, and I've got a surprise and a gift for you for episode 300. We're going through the purpose process. You will know your life's purpose by the end of this episode. This is not like some catchy, you'll get 20% or 50% of the process and you have to pay me for the rest of the process. I'm taking you through the full process. So if you want to find your life's purpose, which will give you direction, which will give you fulfillment. If you struggle with motivation, knowing what you want to do with your life, where you want to go in life, you're missing your purpose. And I'm going to be taking you through the entire purpose process right here, right now. Now, you will be answering questions because this is actually a process. So I would encourage you to have time and space to actually pause the video if you need to actually write your answers down. So do this when you've got time and space to actually pause the video, write your answers down, have pen and paper at the ready. But this is going to be a really, really, really beautiful process. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into it. So I will be sharing my screen. So if you're able to watch the video version of this, I think it's on YouTube and I think Spotify has the video version. So go watch it there. And let's rock and roll. I'm going to go straight into it. So what you're looking at right now, if you're looking at the screen, this is my inspired life method. This is what I use to help people get the results that I do. Now we start with self-mastery. Now I always start with values, but we're actually going to start with purpose today. That's what we're going to be going through today. And then I go through inner work, like limiting beliefs, your trauma, your wounds, your blocks. We go through skills like planning and all that stuff. But obviously today we are focusing on purpose. So that's what we're going to be doing today and going through this process. So let's rock and roll. Now, this is how you create an inspired life. You use your purpose. So that's what we're doing today. From that, you create a mission and a vision. So a mission is a measurable goal to help you fulfill your purpose, okay? It's derived from your purpose and it's measurable. Your vision is what your life looks like once you've hit the mission. So they're on the same time schedule or time scale, but they're just different pieces of it. The mission is the one clear, measurable outcome, and then the vision is what your life looks like once you've hit that. Values are areas of your life that are your life priorities. I do videos on that. Episode 200 does a free training on values, hence why I wanted to do purpose on episode 300. And then we get into outcomes. That's when we actually break down to what do you need to practically, tactically do to achieve your mission and vision. So with that being said, what is a purpose? That is a great question. Everyone has really, really, really different answers to this. I would actually love to hear your answers in the comments because I do read all my comments on YouTube and my other platforms that I'm on. So go comment down below. What is a purpose? This is my definition. It's your gift to give to the world. Now, if you've heard of the Ikigai, maybe said that wrong just then, the Ikigai or Ikigai, I don't know how to even pronounce it properly, but it's quite similar to that. And I believe purpose and the Ikigai or your telos, they're all the same thing, they're just said differently. Something that I do very uniquely though, and I haven't seen anyone do this process the way that I do it, is they don't go to where did it come from? So your Ikigai, it's like, what are you great at? What can you get paid to do? What problems can you solve? What lights you up? And there's some other questions that you answer. And like that intersection in the middle is your purpose essentially, or it's your Ikigai. And I like that, and that you will get a similar outcome from doing the process with me today. But for me, it doesn't tell you where it's come from. And for me, that's actually where the fuel source is. And that's what we're going to be going in today. So where does your purpose come from? I was just kind of mentioning that. And again, ask yourself that question. Where do you think your purpose comes from? If you followed my content, you would have seen me allude to it a lot, but this is where it comes from for me. And this is how I help clients figure it out. You've probably heard the term, pain gives you purpose, or the greater the pain, the greater the purpose. And it's absolutely true. I actually heard this really beautiful acronym, I think is the right name, where it's the word why, W-H-Y. And what does it stand for? Like, what's your why? Your why needs to make you cry or something like that. What's your motivation to do something? What's the why behind what you're doing? And they wrote it out really beautifully. I actually hadn't heard this before. It's W-H-Y. W-H-Y. It's who hurt you. I thought that was beautiful. Who hurt you? That's your why. And and that's where pain equals purpose. So another version of that is wounds equal wisdom. So the greater the wounds, the greater the wisdom. Now, I'm not doing values today. That's on episode 200, and it's also in my paid community and my services that I do. But this is where the things that light you up the most come from your voids or your pain. So if you had pain around money or wealth growing up, money is probably important to you. If you had pain around your health, health is important to you. If you had pain around relationships, relationships are important to you. Now, your highest value is your highest purpose. So if we reverse engineer that, your biggest core wound is your biggest core purpose. So you're about to hear my definition of where your purpose comes from. Your purpose comes from. Your purpose is an expression of your biggest core wound. Please listen to that again. Your purpose is an expression of your biggest core wound. Now, you'll see in brackets once you've healed the wound. Now, a side note though, is you're never fully healed. There's always more healing to do. But you want to get to a point where it gives you fuel and not fear. Where it gives you fuel and not fear. So you need to heal it to a degree where you can use it as drive, motivation, inspiration, and not just trigger you and then you freak out. So your purpose is an expression of your biggest core wound once you've healed the wound. Now I'm going to give you some examples. Now I'm going to obviously teach you how to find yours today, so just stay with me for these examples. So say an example. Say your biggest core wound was feeling unloved and not wanted. Say that was your core wound. Your purpose could be helping others find love within themselves and build fulfilling relationships. That's one way. And you can express it in many ways. That's just one example of how you could do that. Here's another one. I might just take my camera away. Say your core wound was suppressing your true self-expression to fit into social norms. Your purpose could be encouraging authenticity and helping individuals embrace their true selves. That could be your purpose. That could be the way you want to express it. Here's another one. And ladies definitely relate to this. Men do as well, but ladies more so than men in this, from what I've experienced anyways. Maybe your core wound was feeling the need to be flawless to be accepted. You had to be perfect. You had to be put well together. You had to be flawless to be accepted, to be enough. Your purpose may be helping individuals embrace imperfection and authenticity. That could be yours. Again, there's many ways you could express it. This is the last example that I've got for you guys. Your core wound could be feeling victimized by those in authority. Maybe you had a poor parent in a leadership position. Maybe the court system didn't serve you very well. Maybe you had pain around authority figures and stuff like that. Your purpose could be empowering others to stand against abuse and promote leadership with integrity. That could be the way that you could express it. Again, you can express a purpose in many, 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 many different ways. You're going to learn how to today. This is my core wound, and this is my purpose. My core wound is feeling hurt, lost, and rejected. If you don't know my story, I haven't gone into it today, but I got diagnosed with Asperger's, ADHD, autism when I was younger. There was a lot of mental, emotional, physical abuse in my upbringing, and I felt really hurt, felt really lost, and I felt really rejected growing up. That's my biggest core wound, and you can even feel a little bit of emotion, me still speaking into it, and I've spoken about this hundreds of times. My purpose, the way I've articulated it, is to heal and expand consciousness. My hurt has gifted me with the drive to heal. Greater the pain, greater the purpose. Me feeling lost and rejected has gifted me with the drive to help expand people's consciousness, to know who they authentically are, to know how to heal, to know their mission, their vision, everything I'm taking you through right now. So I would not be the man with the pride and strength and passion and drive to do what it is that I do if it wasn't for my biggest core wound. Greater the pain, greater the purpose. Greater the wounds, greater the wisdom. So essentially what we want to do is find your greatest core wound and then see how you can express that. And there's many ways you can do that. So I just want to share you a story. Now, this hot tip, please write this down. Please listen to this. When you get tears of inspiration, so teary eyes, where you get tears of inspiration, you are perceiving a piece of your purpose. So when you get tears of inspiration, moving forward, take a pause, be present, and try figure out what is it that you're perceiving right now that's inspiring you so much. So I've got a story for you. Shark Tank. For anyone that's seen this show, Shark Tank, it's a great show. If you're not aware of it, essentially these entrepreneurs come onto the show, they pitch their business, they try to sell their business to these entrepreneurs. There's 5 sharks, hence they're named Shark Tanks. They're very successful entrepreneurs, and they essentially are trying to get them to invest into their business, buy a percentage off the entrepreneur to scale it and build the business. That's kind of the show in a nutshell. Anyways, this one show, this young boy comes on the show and is really enthusiastic. He's really inspiring. He's literally like 15 years old and he's done like $1.8 million at 15 years old. It's a clothing business. His name's, I forget his name, but the business is called Spurgo. You can find it on YouTube. And anyways, he's on there and he's doing his pitch. He's doing his thing. He's full of enthusiasm, inspiration. And all of these sharks, the entrepreneurs, were giving this kid heaps of feedback and heaps of encouragement. Trey was his name. They're like, you're killing it, Trey. Well done, Trey. You're amazing, Trey. You're inspiring, all this stuff. And then towards the end, Mark Cuban, who's one of the sharks on the Shark Tank, he just gives this boy all this encouragement and all this coaching, all this mentorship. And he's like, Trey, you're on fire. Stay present. He's like, I help superstars do things that most people think are impossible. And you're just giving him all this coaching, all this great feedback, all this love and coaching and feedback. And anyways, I'm watching this show and it's not like a sad show. It's not a sad episode. There are some very sad, tear-jerking episodes, but this is not one of them. It's just a very inspiring one for me anyways. And then I start getting all these tears in my eyes and I have tears running down my face. And I'm watching this with my wife or partner at the time. And she looks at me and she can see obviously all these tears down my face. And she's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? What's going on with you? And I'm like, I'm just so inspired right now. And I knew what I'm talking about in terms of the tears of inspiration means you're seeing your purpose. So I asked myself, I said, what is it specifically that I'm seeing right now that is so inspiring to me? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. The mentorship, the coaching that Mark Cuban and all the other sharks, but mainly Mark Cuban, the mentorship, the encouragement, the love, the appreciation, the celebration that Mark was giving this young boy was what I didn't get from my dad. And it fucking hurt me. It hit me. Because this is what I didn't get. And my highest value is coaching. I do that for others in different ways. And I was perceiving my biggest core wound. So when you get tears of inspiration, you're actually perceiving a piece of your purpose, which comes from your biggest core wound. So pretty awesome. So please remember that when you get tears of inspiration. With that being said, we're about to actually find your purpose. So here's the rules for finding your purpose. Number one, your purpose does not have to have anything to do with your business or your career. It could be something like raising a healthy, loving family, because your core wound could be around the emotionally unsafe family upbringing that you had. So don't feel like your purpose has to be like commercialized. You don't have to commercialize or monetize your purpose. I recommend doing that if you want to, because then you make money doing what you love what you do, and you get paid to do it. So I recommend doing it if you want to, but you don't have to. So don't put the pressure on yourself that you have to make money doing your purpose. I do that, but you don't have to do that. It's up to you. Next, even if you didn't have parents in your life, or maybe you had one parent or they were interchangeable, just intuitively answer the questions that I'm about to ask you, because I'm about to ask you questions about your parents. So if your parents were absent, they weren't there, you didn't have parents, you went through foster care, I'm not sure your personal situation. Just whatever comes up for you, just answer the question intuitively. This is an intuitive process, not an intellectual process. Purpose is intrinsic. It's heart, soul. It's not intellectual. So please, I'm going to tell you to take a big, deep breath in before we answer the questions. That leads me to the next tip or the next rule. This is an intuitive process. Don't overthink the answers. Take a big, deep breath in before answering each of the questions to center yourself. So we're about to get into it. I'm about to ask you 4 questions. Now, don't overthink this. Whatever comes to you first is perfect. And take a big, deep breath in right now for me. So 3, 2, 1. Take a big, deep breath in. And out. You can only answer these questions using one-word answers. So answer the following 4 questions in one word and intuitively write down whatever comes up. If you've got pen and paper, this is where you're going to be writing down answers, because we're about to find your purpose. Get excited. So the first question, what did you get from your mum that you didn't want? Write your first answer in. What did you get from your mum that you didn't want? Mine, as an example, weakness. What did you get from your mum that you didn't want? One word answer. Write your answer in. And if you're struggling to think of it, take a breath and answer the question. All right, we're ready for the second question. Again, take a big, deep breath in. Breathe out. Next question. What did you get from your dad that you didn't want? Answer the question. For me, it was anger. aggression, anger. I've interchanged those words a couple of times. So what did you get from your dad that you didn't want? One word answer, my friend. One word answer. Write it down. Beautiful. Again, if you need to pause the video because you need more time, because I obviously do speak quick, come back, pause the video, and you can obviously go through this video many times, by the way. You can go, and I recommend going through the purpose process many times. Next question. Take a big deep breath in and out. Answer the next question. What did you not get from your dad that you most wanted? What did you not get from your dad that you most wanted? For me, it was safety. One word answer. What did you not get from your dad that you most wanted? One word answer. So if you're following along with me, it's weakness for me, it's anger for the second one, and it's safety for the third one. So you got 3 one-word answers so far. Again, if you need to pause the video because I'm going too quickly, that's okay. Pause the video. Last question. You might feel what you're about to get asked. Take a breath in and out. Last question. What did you not get from your mum that you most wanted? What did you not get from your mum that you most wanted? One word answer. For me, strength. So now you will have 4 words. Now make sure you've got those 4 words written down. Now, this is the most intuitive question I'm about to ask you. So just sit with it. Let your heart answer the question. You're going to use 1 to 2 words to answer the next question. Okay? So you've got 4 words written down. You're going to use 1 to 2 words to answer the next question. Using all 4 of those one-word answers, what is the theme that you see? What is the theme that you see within those 4 words? What's the theme? Use 1 to 2 words to answer this question. And this is your greatest core wound. For me, it was hurt. My answer was hurt. So I had weakness, I had anger, I had unsafe, and I had strength. So the theme I saw and felt was hurt. So out of those 4 words, what is the theme that you see and feel? 1 to 2 word answer. And again, if you're struggling with this, if you're in your head too much, take a big breath in, look at the words, and write down an answer. And do this process more than once because you'll get clearer each time that you do this. Next question. What is the biggest core wound within that theme of your life? So in your life, and this is a general answer. The next question's specific. This is more general. Then we're going to chunk in a little bit. So what is the core wound within that theme of your life? So for me, being hurt, what's the biggest core wound for me? It was feeling hurt from my dad, being mentally, emotionally, physically abusive in my family. Feeling unsafe around him. Feeling like I couldn't express myself. That I had to suppress my emotions. Write down, and just so you know, use a sentence or 2. This is not a one-word answer. So use like a couple of sentences to answer this question. So what is your biggest core wound within that theme of your life? Use a couple of sentences to answer this one. So take your time. You might want to pause this video and write down your answer. And you may feel some emotions coming up right now. Perfect. Greater the pain, greater the purpose. Greater the wounds, greater the wisdom. When you transmute energy, you use emotion and energy and turn it into something else. You use your pain and the emotion attached to it and transmute that into action. You turn pain into purpose. Beautiful. Now, this is going to be the most challenging question. So take a big breath in. If you struggle answering it, just come back to it when you feel ready enough to answer it. This is the hardest question, emotionally speaking. What is an example of your biggest core wound? So I just said broadly, what's the theme of that? Like what's that biggest core wound in your life? Now you're writing down a real example. So what is a real example of that core wound? That you're sitting at the dinner table, you were driving with your dad or your mum, you were at school, you were at home. Like write down a specific moment of this biggest core wound being played out. So write down an example of your core wound. Now this is the most triggering and emotional question of the process. So if you need to take a breath in and regulate your nervous system. Perfect. This is the hardest emotionally hitting question of this process, and you are doing fantastic. If you need to pause this video to write down your answer, perfect. And again, use a couple of sentences if you need to, or a paragraph or so. Please do so. I'm going to move on. If you need to pause the video, just pause the video and take your time with this. This is not a rushed process. Take your time. Next question. How old were you when you experienced this core wound? So whatever you just wrote down then, how old were you? Now just pick one number, because it may be like a time frame. It might be like 3 to 10. Just so you know, the most common ages will be between 3 to 10. But I just want you to intuitively pick an age. When I did this process, the age was 7 years old for me. So just pick an age. Now, if your age is above 10, like say it's 12, 15, 20, I would actually encourage you to come back and do this process again, because most commonly it's between 3 to 10. 3 to 10 is the most common answers that I've seen from doing this process with thousands of people. So how old are you? Intuitively answer it. Just what number comes to you straight away when I ask you that question? Now, we're almost done. There's only a couple more questions to go. What did you need back then? Now, you're going to use one-word answers, and you're going to write heaps of answers. So what did you need back then? So when you were that age, experiencing that core wound, what did you need? Like, so for me, when my dad was physically, emotionally, verbally abusive, and I felt unsafe and I felt hurt, what did I need? I needed safety. I needed to be healed or know how to heal. I needed to be encouraged. I needed to be supported. I need validation. I needed guidance. I needed healthy communication. I know there's 2 words, but you can use 1 to 2 word answers. But I want you to write down heaps. So write down one answer, then what else? What else did you need? Then what else did you need? Then what else did you need? The more substance you get for this one, the better, because we're about to use everything you're writing down right now to articulate your purpose. So what did you need back then? Was it safety? Was it encouragement? Was it leadership? Was it strength? Was it healing? Was it inspiration? Was it calmness? Was it peace? Was it presence? What did you need back then? So how old were you at the time that you experienced this core wound that we just spoke about? And what did you need back then? Again, pause this video if you need more time to answer the questions. I'm going to move on. Pause the video if you need more time. And get maybe 5 to 10 answers to this one, okay? 5 to 10 answers is perfect. Now, how can you express your purpose? So what I want you to do is everything from the previous answer, all of those things that you needed, how could you express that purpose? So all you do is say, my purpose is, and this is the first shitty draft, by the way, so don't put pressure on yourself to try to get it perfect and have to get it whatever. Just, it's your first shitty draft. So take away expectations for this question. How could you express it? So you've got like, say, safety, strength, presence, validation, encouragement, whatever words you've written down. How could you? My purpose is to help women or to help men or to help the world, to heal, to evolve, to feel safe, to have guidance, to have support, to be whatever. Something like that. And I want you to just brain dump. So this one's more of a paragraph. So more substance the better. We're about to refine it, okay? So then in the next couple of questions, we're about to refine it. So how could you express this purpose? Just write it down, brain dump, brain dump, brain dump, brain dump. How could you use all of your answers from the previous question and even all of the questions to write down how you could and how you can express that purpose or express that core wound? Pause this video if you need more time. This one probably takes a bit longer. And we're going to move on to the next one. Now, this question could be very similar, if not the same, as the question you just answered. So what is your expanded purpose? Now, the reason I do expanded purpose and your refined purpose, which is the next question, is that I've heard people say, oh yeah, I know my purpose. And I'll say, okay, what is it? And they'll give me this big expanded answer, which is what you're answering right now. But they're not able to answer it because I don't know it off the top of my head. Oh, let me get my phone, let me get whatever. If you don't know it off the top of your head, you don't know it. So I like to have an expanded one, which is like a more detailed one for you to really dive into it. So for me, I haven't got mine off the top of my head. So perfect example, I don't know my expanded purpose off the top of my head, but I know my refined purpose. So off the top of my head, if I was to give you an answer, it's to help others heal through their trauma, their wounds, their limitations, to find their true authentic self, to create a life that they're truly authentically inspired by, to have a beautiful relation, a beautiful business, to have financial and time freedom. It's something like that. I haven't got it off the top of my head. So write down what your expanded purpose could be, or what your expanded purpose is. Now, this is why it will be very similar to the most previous answer. They could be exactly the same, or they could be different. Again, pause the video. You want a couple of sentences here, even a paragraph worth of writing for this one. So I'm going to encourage you to pause the video if you need more time to write down your answer. And we're going to move on to the final question. Final question. What is your refined purpose? You want to get this into a sentence. 1 to 2 sentences max, ideally 1 sentence. So what you do is look at your previous 2 answers, even though they might be exactly the same. How could you say that? How can you find the most important part of that paragraph or a couple of sentences and say it in 1 sentence? Get the most important part of your previous answers and say it in 1 sentence. My purpose is, say it in a sentence or 2. So for me, it's to heal and expand consciousness. And I remember that. I know that. And I know what it's linked to. It's linked to my biggest core wound. That's why it gives me inspiration. I love this line. The need for motivation is a symptom of an uninspired goal. I don't need motivation to do what I do because it's linked to my biggest core wound. And that fucking drives me. Because we become who we needed when we're at our lowest. If you've heard that term before, you can see how this is true. You become who you needed when you're at your lowest. So I want you to write down your refined purpose. Take everything you wrote in the previous question or 2 and say it in a sentence or 2. 2 sentences, absolute max. Ideally 1 sentence. Pause the video and take your time with it. Take your time with this one. And you're gonna sit with this well after this video. You're gonna think about it many, 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 many times, which is perfect. Now, if you need more time, pause the video because I'll move it on. So pause the video if you need more time. I love this quote. When what you do is the fullest expression of who you are, you will do your life's best work. I'm going to say that again because it's so good. When what you do is the fullest expression of who you are, you will do your life's best work. When you are expressing your purpose, you are being the fullest expression of who you are. That's why you love what you do. The more authentic and expressed I am, the greater work I do, the better quality, the more inspiring work that I do, and the more impact I give for others. Remember, your purpose is your gift to give back to the world, or your gift to give back to others. So the more I heal myself and expand myself, and then I go and heal and expand others, the greater work I do, the greater expression I am of myself. So how do we use your purpose? And I just want to say congratulations, you now have your purpose, by the way. And if it's your first time doing this, it won't be 100% refined. That's okay. Come back and do this process. This is a live training, episode 300. I wanted to make it an easy number so I can remember it. So when people say, hey, I don't know my purpose, I'll say, hey, just go watch episode 300. So come do this process many times. I recommend once a week for a month, once a month for 6 months, and every 3 months. I redo my values, my purpose, my mission, my vision, my master plan every 3 months. It's a quarterly reset. Please do that. It's one of the most serving things I've done for myself over the last 7 years, is to redo this process consistently. Because you will get deeper and you will journey deeper into your purpose, and you'll be able to express and give that more back to others the more you work on yourself. So how do you use your purpose, by the way? How do you use it? But just please, before I move on, can you comment your purpose down in the comments? It would be inspiring as shit. What's your purpose? Comment it down in the comments. I would love to see it. I'd love to see it and read it and get inspired by that. Now, how do you use your purpose? Great question. It is your untapped amount of fuel. Remember the quote, the need for motivation is a symptom of an uninspired goal. I don't need motivation to do what I do because I love what I'm fucking doing, because it's driven and it's aligned with my purpose. Because I'm doing what I love, I'm loving what I do, and I get paid to do it. So if you're struggling with motivation, you don't know your purpose, or you're not living in alignment with your purpose. Create a life that allows you to express your purpose at the highest level. I just said that before. When what you do is the greatest expression of who you are, you will do your life's best work. So build a life where you get to express it, whether that's in a job or a business. Find a career that's aligned with your purpose, or build a business that's an expression of your purpose. Or again, like I said, you don't have to monetize it. That's okay. Maybe you just sort yourself out financially and then you get to be the expression of your purpose through your work as well, but through other means. Go express yourself and be the fullest expression of yourself. You want to set a mission. So this, I'm not doing these steps. This is in my paid work. If you want to pay to work with me or do work with me, I'd love to obviously help you. This is just one piece of the puzzles that we go through. But set a mission. So what's a goal for you to go achieve to fulfill the purpose? It might be around family. It might be around helping others. It might be around healing, supporting, empowering others. Who knows? It might be around confidence. It might be around family. It might be around health. Remember, it's just an expression of your biggest core wound. Whatever your core wound is, go help others with that. So set a mission. It's a 5 to 10 year measurable goal, which is aligned with your purpose. Continue to refine this. Meditation, journaling, also psychedelics can help with this a lot. Doing breath work, tuning into this, sitting with this. You just did this is whatever, 30 minutes so far, this video. Like, you want to spend more time thinking about this. Do this process more than once. Journey deeper in on this. It's a really beautiful process. Now, I'm just going to do a little drop in for you. So I want you to close your eyes for me. And I want you to tune into what you just wrote down for your purpose. And I want you to say it back to yourself. Now, I want you to remember where this core wound came from. And I want you to reflect back on that version of yourself. The version of yourself that experienced this core wound. And I want you to connect with this version of you. The version of you that struggled, that experienced this pain and this core wound, and even the emotions that you experienced back then. And I want you to connect with that version of you. And I want you to see that younger version of you. And I want you to tell them, thank you for going through what that version of you went through. To have the strength and courage to get through it. To gift you with the purpose that you have today. I want you to take a big deep breath and feel that. I want you to tell your younger self that because of what you went through, you're going to help others. You're going to give this back to others who are going through similar things or who have been through similar things. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to take a big deep breath in. And I want you to go forward 10 years into your future. 10 years from now. And I want you to see the life that you've created for yourself because you've pursued your purpose. You've lived out your purpose. You've given your gift back to others. I want you to see the life that you've created. I want you to see the version of you, of who you've become. I want you to see the people you've impacted. And I want you to feel that right now. I want you to take a breath in on that right now. This is your future. This is you expressing your purpose and giving your gift back to the world. Taking one more moment just to feel whatever you want to feel right now. Whatever's coming up for you right now, perfect. I want you to feel it. I want you to breathe in on it. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now, I just want to say thank you for being here. And thank you for going through this process. If you got value, please comment down below. Please subscribe. Please like the video. And please send it to someone else. And if you do want to work with me, I would love to help you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. We've just done one today. There is many more pieces to do. Values, your mission, your vision. There's obviously steps I take you through how to do that. I help you remove all your limiting beliefs. I help you heal through trauma. I help you remove blocks. I help you plan out your life. I help you learn all the skills you need to create that vision. And if that feels right for you, there's links down below of how you can work for me. I literally have options for like $49 a month. It's really super cheap. I have a book that I've written. It might be launched by the time you're watching this. And I just want to say thank you. So please share this with a friend who you think got value. I'd love to hear your purpose down in the comments. Please drop your purpose down. It would inspire me. And if you decide to work with me, I can't wait to connect with you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a beautiful day. Go live out your purpose. Go give your gift back to others. See ya.